Hi there and welcome to my video. Here am I sitting at Brisbane Domestic Airport and I'm off on another trip. So the first leg of the trip is just down to Sydney. Then after that I jump aboard Qantas to Santiago in Chile. So looking forward to sharing that with you, and very relaxed and very little luggage this time, just the day pack. And that's all the luggage I have. So about 7 kilo there and about 4 kilo there. Yeah, and I made it to Sydney in plenty of time. Not too busy here, which is really good. So now I've just got to wait for my flight to Santiago. It was super easy to catch a bus and the metro to my hostel, just a short walk from the metro station. So I found the hostel, no trouble at all. And then I had booked a walking tour. It's one of those guru ones where I choose what I pay. So I'm just waiting for the others to arrive and then we'll head off. There's a couple of cool buildings behind me. This one here's the information centre. Went in there, not a word of English. This one is the Diplomatic Academy. So there you go.
Really happy to answer all of your questions. It's important your participation to have a nice experience. So feel free to
So we're getting a lot of history here. He's pointing out the development of Chile and how it's different from all the other countries in South America. They're not so loud, they don't do so many big celebrations, they don't do dancing, but they do have a quirky sense of humour. And this behind me is the President's building.
we call it like that. If we go to Mexico, we're going to call it Zócalo. If you go to Spain, it will be a Plaza Mayor. So Plaza de Armas is the Spanish.
So one of the few cathedrals that are actually open to the public, and they're not always open, although they say they will be open. So we're going to go and have a quick look as part of the tour group.
Front sign of this big flag upside down. Very nice masterpiece. Jesus Christ in 12.
So we're going to the subway as a group, and I have my VIP card. So we've finished the tour now and I've just come into this church, and the history of it is how it caught fire, but they've kept it as a memorial, which is really quite cool. So it was actually an intentional fire in 2019. They used accelerant, and the church was built in the 16th century, so it's really good that they've kept it as a memorial. So getting a bit adventurous this morning. I'm going to catch the bus to a place called Valparaiso. Never heard of it until yesterday, but I just caught the train down to the connection and I'll put that there. And yeah, timed it with like 3 minutes to spare to buy a ticket. And there's my bus. So I'm just relaxing back into travel. It's like I've had the experience of 6 months in the US and Canada. That was really good, and it was English speaking. And then 18 months ago, 2 years ago, I went to Europe, various countries in Europe, and some of them the language was not something I understood at all. And it's the same here in Santiago. Really, I don't speak any Spanish at all. I pick up like the one word out of 1,000. So things just make sense though. When you look at a ticket, you're like, I'm pretty sure that's the seat number. And yeah, I was right. So thank goodness for Google Translate. And hopefully I'll have a lovely day getting out of Santiago. I mean, I only arrived here 24 hours ago and I'm already leaving it, but not for long. I'll be back. So it's about 10 minutes on the bus and already it's very rural. And oh yeah, wouldn't that luck it that I've just got the trees, but the hills are behind there. And it's very dry and dusty. And again, very quiet. Not at all what I expected. And an hour and a half later, I'm coming into Valparaiso. Very, very hilly right near town, and seems very densely populated, especially compared with what area I went through in Santiago. And I seem to have lost my bright sunny day, which is a bit sad. Now, our guide from yesterday did say, be very careful in Valparaiso. There's a lot of thefts, a lot of personal thefts. Be careful when you're holding your camera, when you're holding your phone. So I was really, really mindful of that as I wandered around.
Desde la sombra somos tejen la luz. Desde lo invisible sostiene la vida. Su sabiduría es la sabiduría antigua del planeta. Conozcámoslos y cuidemos su reino.
Well, how about that? I've only been here for 24 hours and I've already found a charity shop because, yes, it's colder than what people said. And I did need a down jacket, so I just grabbed one. Pretty awesome up here. I actually feel safe taking out my phone for the first time since being in this town. So I've been working my way up and down the streets with all the murals, and then I saw through this restaurant to this view. They're brilliant. So glad I came out here. Oh yes, I don't know how often it's like this here, but wow, look at it. Oh, that was so much fun, walking in the water and looking at the murals. And I've just stopped into a cafe to have a coffee and work out what I'm doing next. But this is actually a Kodak cafe. So Kodak cameras, Kodak films, that was my era. I don't know if you remember that, but it's got a lot of interesting stuff on the walls, which I'll go and have a look at before I leave here. So I'm glad my Spanish is good enough to order a coffee with milk. That's about my limit. So this was where I had my coffee. Very nice, and that man was such a gentleman. So another mode of transport today, another bus, but this is a local bus, so I just had to wing it. I know the name of the place where I'm going to, Vila del Mar, which is just down the road from Valparaiso. So I will put the spelling up here because, yeah, my Spanish is non-existent and probably yours is too. So this is today, very, very wet. It's the perfect time to be catching the bus, right? So I've come to another city now. This is Vila del Mar, and it might be a great city to explore on a fine day because there's a few castles and things to look at. But on a wet day, it's not great. But it's still fun to come to a different city because it's got such a different feel from Valparaiso. So I'm going to have a bit of a wander around, see what I can see, and then I'll catch the bus back to the intercity bus. Very, very busy port there. In fact, it's the, I don't know if it's the capital city, but it's the business centre of Chile. And then it was back to the bus terminal and onto another tour bus and back to Santiago. Quite different weather than what I had on the way down, quite gloomy, but still really interesting. And those intercity buses are super comfortable. So it's about here that I have a big gap in my photos. It was just one day and it was a wonderful day, but unfortunately it was a really lousy ending, and I'll tell you more about that now. So good morning. Now this is the first time I've actually turned on my camera for a couple of days because a couple of days something really awful happened, and yeah, it still brings me to tears. The phone that I'm filming on is not my original phone. My iPhone 14 Pro Max got grabbed. Yeah, I was just waiting to cross the road. Very scary. A motorbike comes along, nearly hits me. Then another one comes along and someone grabs my phone. So as you can imagine, I was absolutely gutted. I've lost so much stuff. It's not just the photos, it's just everything that's in that phone. So I've spent the last full day, all day yesterday, most of the day before, just trying to get things sorted. Thank you to my daughter who's been helping me, and I think I'm getting there. At least I now have a phone, and I'm being so careful and I'm so nervous. Woke up this morning and thought, just for a couple of hours I might continue to be a tourist, so I've come down to see the changing of the guards. Now this only happens once every 2 days, so beautiful morning, so I'm going to enjoy that and share it with you. Well, the changing of the guards was supposed to be at 10 o'clock, so I arrived just before 10, and so I sat and it got to 10:30. I checked online to see just confirm that it was 10, and yes, it was 10, except sometimes on the weekend it's 11, but it is now 11:10, and so I've sat here for an hour just waiting. It's been lovely sitting in the sun, but still nothing happening. So I've decided people have come and gone. Some people sit around for a while and they give up and go. And so I'm going to give it another 5 minutes, and if nothing happens, I'm leaving. Clearly no changing of the guards for me today. So these guards have been over there. There's been some other guards in the pale suits. There's some dignitaries that have been coming in and out, but still nothing. So I hadn't had anything to eat before I rushed out of the hostel, and I thought, oh, this shop looks really popular. I'll come in and I'll show you what they're serving, and then I'll tell you the system. Look at that, all those things, the whole cabinet, and the ladies are really busy. So the system is you come in, you get a number, then you wait your turn, then you show them what you want, then they give you a docket, and then you come and pay. And there's the lady that takes your money, and then she sends you back over to these ladies to give you your food. So crazy as I am, I've just come back to the corner where I was robbed, right where that white truck is and people are crossing the road. That's where the motorbike came, and I've just been to that lookout. I'm not going to go again. So I found a lovely little space to sit and eat my empanada. It was spinach and, well, it said mushrooms and non, but it was more spinach and cheese. But then the second thing I got was called Chilean dust, and I'll show you what that looks like. It was such a beautiful day. I decided to walk all the way back to the hostel because I still had more stuff to do trying to get my phone sorted. Well, my time in Santiago was a little different than I'd anticipated, but the good thing was there was loads of beautiful people, really kind. So I'm just arriving at the airport. As you can see, it's still a beautiful day, and I've got about 4 hours till I fly out. So gave myself heaps of time. It was really easy to get the airport. Came a different way to what I did when I first arrived, but I'll just put some notes in my blog about that. So I had an overnight flight to Central America, actually to Mexico City. Now sadly, Santiago will not have the pleasantest memories. I still get tears in my eyes when I think about what happened. I'm very scared of motorbikes, but thanks for watching, and please come back next time because I'll be sharing Mexico with you and introducing you to people in my group. So bye for now.